I just sat there, staring at the message. My hands were shaking. It was my 18th birthday. No cake, no celebration. Just silence. And a text from my own mother. "Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new bike. Be grateful." That was it. No happy birthday. No apology. Just a reminder that in this house, my needs meant nothing. I'm Ember. And I wasn't surprised. Not really. This wasn't new. My whole life had been a long list of things taken from me and handed to my brother Kyle. He was the golden child, star of the family, could never do anything wrong. And me? I was just there. The invisible one, the backup, the one who always had to understand. Before I tell you how that one message changed my entire life, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Because trust me, you don't want to miss how this ends. And tell me, if your own mom did this to you on your birthday, what would you do? Stay silent or speak up? But that laptop? That was mine. I'd saved for it for over a year, tutoring kids after school, walking dogs, even selling handmade jewelry online. That laptop was my ticket to college. I wanted to be a graphic designer. I had dreams, ones I never dared to say out loud in this house. And now it was gone, just like everything else they took from me. I tried calling Mom, no answer. I texted her, "Why would you do this?" She replied after 10 minutes, "Kyle has a big race next week. He deserves something nice. You already had your turn." My turn? When exactly was that? Was it when I got hand-me-down clothes every year? Or when they forgot to come to my school's art showcase? Or maybe when they made me clean the whole house every weekend while Kyle played video games? I went to my room, or what was left of it. The empty desk stared back at me where my laptop used to sit. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just froze. Something inside me clicked. If they saw me as nothing, maybe it was time to show them what nothing could become. But here's the thing. What I found out next changed everything, and the person who told me was the last one I ever expected. If you were in my place, what would you do? Stay quiet or strike back? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and share if this story made you feel something. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing Mom's words echo in my head. You already had your turn. I stared at the ceiling, wondering if I was crazy to think maybe, just maybe, I deserved better. But then, something happened. The next morning, I got a message. It was from Aunt Cecilia, my mom's estranged sister. We barely ever talked. She was the family's black sheep, the one everyone whispered about but never invited to anything. Her text just said, "Saw your mom's Facebook post about Kyle's new bike. Call me when you can. There's something you should know." My heart dropped. What could she possibly have to say? But curiosity burned through me, so I called. Her voice was calm but serious. "Ember, did your mom ever tell you about the inheritance your grandma left?" I blinked. Inheritance? What inheritance? Silence. Then she sighed. "Exactly what I thought. Listen closely. Before your grandma passed, she left a trust fund. It was meant for her first granddaughter. You. Not Kyle. Not your mom. Just you. But your mom, she told everyone you didn't want it, that you signed it away." I felt dizzy. "What? That's not true. I never signed anything." "She forged your signature, Ember, and she used that money, all of it. It was over $60,000. She bought Kyle a car, paid off her credit card debt, renovated the kitchen, and kept you in the dark." I couldn't breathe. My knees buckled, and I sat down on the edge of my bed. Everything made sense now. The sudden money problems, the constant guilt-tripping, the way she always told me to be grateful for the bare minimum. I had been robbed, not just of a laptop, but of my future. "But why are you telling me this now?" I asked. "Because I've been keeping track," she said. "And I have copies of the original documents. If you want justice, I'll help you." My voice trembled. "Why would you help me?" She paused. "Because I was the Ember of my family, too. and I know how it feels when your own blood treats you like you don't matter. That was the moment the ember inside me turned into fire. I wasn't going to stay silent anymore. I was going to get my life back, but I couldn't let them see it coming. So I played along. I smiled at dinner. I told Mom it was okay. I even complimented Kyle's bike. But behind the scenes, I was getting ready to destroy everything they built. With my money, and the first person I had to confront was my dad, because what he told me next was darker than anything I could have imagined. What would you do if your own mother stole your inheritance? Would you forgive or fight back? I waited 2 days before I knocked on Dad's workshop door. He was always the quieter one, never said much, just went along with whatever Mom decided. But I had a feeling he knew more than he let on. He looked surprised to see me. Need something? I nodded, stepping inside. Yeah, answers. He frowned. About what? I didn't blink. About Grandma's trust, the one Mom stole. His face changed instantly, like someone had punched the air out of him. He sat down heavily on the stool, rubbed his hands together like he was trying to scrub away guilt. I told her not to, he whispered. I told her it wasn't right. My jaw tightened. And you let her do it anyway? She said you wouldn't understand, that you'd waste the money, that Kyle needed it more. And honestly, I didn't fight her. I should have. But your mom, when she sets her mind to something, she doesn't stop. I could feel my hands clench into fists. She stole from me, lied to me. She ruined everything. He looked up at me, eyes wet. I'm sorry, Ember. I was a coward. I wanted to scream, but I stayed calm because I needed him. Do you still have access to her financial records, the ones she used to move the money? He hesitated, then nodded slowly. There's a drawer in her home office. Bottom one. Password is your birthday. Ironically. Of course it was. That night, while everyone was asleep, I tiptoed into the office. My heart pounded as I opened the drawer. Inside were envelopes, receipts, bank statements, and right there, under a folder labeled College Fund Ember, was the forged document. My signature looked sloppy, childish, not even close to mine. I took pictures of everything, every dollar moved, every lie told. It was all there. My phone's memory filled up with evidence, but my heart filled up with rage. The next morning, I called Aunt Cecilia. I've got everything, I told her. What do we do next? She didn't hesitate. We take it to court, but first, I think it's time the rest of the family knew the truth. There's a wedding next weekend, right? Your cousins? I smiled for the first time in days. Yep, everyone's going to be there. Perfect, she said. Let's give them a show they'll never forget. But what I didn't know was that Kyle had overheard part of my conversation, and he had his own secrets. Curious yet? Because what Kyle did next flipped everything upside down. I caught him staring at me weirdly the next day. Kyle never paid attention to me before, not unless he was mocking me or asking for something, but now his eyes followed me everywhere, like he knew I was up to something. And I was right. That night, I found my bedroom door slightly open. My drawers were messed up. My old journals moved. I checked my phone. Some screenshots I'd taken were gone. Deleted. My heart dropped. Kyle had been in my room. I ran downstairs, found him sitting on the couch, pretending to scroll through his phone. I stood in front of him. You went through my stuff? He didn't even flinch. What stuff? You deleted evidence, Kyle. He smirked. Relax. You really think you can ruin Mom. She's the reason we have a roof over our heads. I stepped closer. Number Grandma is the reason we had anything, and she wanted me to have that money. His smile twisted. Yeah, well, maybe if you weren't such a stuck-up little charity case, Mom wouldn't have to clean up your life all the time. My hands were shaking again, but not with fear this time. This isn't just about the money, Kyle. It's about everything. The lies, the favoritism. You think it's normal how they treated me? He rolled his eyes. You always played the victim. Newsflash, Ember. Maybe you weren't good enough. That was it. I leaned in. Then why are you so scared of me finding the truth? He didn't answer, but I saw it in his face. Panic. And that's when the final piece of the puzzle dropped. He slipped up. You think they only took your money? Please, you don't know half of it. I froze. What do you mean? He stood up, tried to push past me. Forget it. I grabbed his arm. What did they do? He looked at me for a long second, then sighed. You're not even supposed to be here. I stared. What? He laughed nervously. Ask Dad, or better yet, go check the lockbox in the attic. Left corner, behind the old Christmas stuff. I didn't wait. I ran. My heart felt like it would explode. I climbed up, moved dusty boxes, and there it was, a rusted gray lockbox. Inside were papers, birth certificates, hospital records, and then adoption documents. But not mine, Kyle's. He was adopted, the golden boy, the one they gave everything to, and me, I was their real daughter, the one they neglected, the one they treated like an outsider. That night, my whole world flipped. The family I thought I knew was built on lies, and I wasn't the only one who'd been betrayed. Are you ready for the wedding confrontation? Because next, the masks come off and someone's going to beg for forgiveness. The day of the wedding arrived like a storm I had been waiting to unleash. Everyone was dressed in their best, fake smiles, shiny jewelry, pretending like they were one big, perfect family. I walked in quietly in a simple black dress, holding nothing but a small envelope. Aunt Cecilia met me near the garden. You ready? She asked. I nodded. More than ever. They were halfway through the toasts when I walked up to the microphone. Mom froze. Dad's glass slipped slightly in his hand. Kyle locked eyes with me, and I smiled. I won't take much of your time, I said, but there's something I need to say, something this family needs to hear. Whispers rose from the tables. For years, I was made to feel small, ungrateful, like I didn't deserve anything I had. On my last birthday, my mother sold my laptop, not for bills, not for groceries, but for my brother's bike. She told me to be grateful. I looked directly at Mom, and all this time, she hid something bigger. She forged my signature, stole my inheritance, lied to everyone, spent every cent of the money my grandmother left for me. Gasps. But that's not even the biggest lie. I turned to Kyle. My parents treated me like I didn't belong, like I was second. But the truth is, I'm the only one who did. Kyle is adopted, and they never told anyone, not even him. Kyle stood up. You're lying. I found the papers. Your real name is Kyle Donovan. You were adopted when you were 2. And Mom, I faced her. You gave him my future, my money, my place in this family. Mom's face turned white. I don't blame Kyle. He didn't know. But you knew. You chose him over me again and again and pretended it was love. Aunt Cecilia stepped forward, holding the folder of documents. This, she said, is going to court. People were whispering, shocked. Dad sat with his head in his hands. Mom didn't say a word. She couldn't. I left the mic and walked away. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel small. A month later, the court ruled in my favor. I got back every dollar, bought my own apartment, re-enrolled in college, and on Kyle's next birthday, I sent him a message. No hard feelings, but next time you ride that bike, remember who paid for it. Morale. Family isn't about blood or names. It's about truth, respect, and choice. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who betray you the most. And sometimes, standing up for yourself is the only way to finally feel free. Have you ever been betrayed by your own family? Would you take revenge or walk away from it all? Let us know in the comments below if this story touched your heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.